Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events that shape our world. I'm your host, Walter, and we're glad you're joining us today. As we start this episode, we want to take a closer look at the recent developments in international relations, specifically between the United States and its European allies. A series of leaked messages from a private chat group has shed light on the tensions and disagreements between these longtime partners. According to reports, high-ranking officials within the U.S. administration have been sharing sensitive information about military operations, including those involving European countries, through an unsecured messaging app. This lapse in security protocol has raised concerns among European leaders who are already navigating a complex web of diplomatic relationships with the United States. The leaked messages also reveal a dismissive tone towards Europe from some American officials, which has sparked outrage and disappointment across the continent. Many Europeans feel that this breakdown in communication and trust is a symptom of a deeper problem, a growing divide between the U.S. and its allies on issues like defense spending, trade policy, and values. We've seen reactions from European leaders, ranging from frustration to calls for greater independence from American influence. The UK's Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, and Prime Minister Keir Starmer have been working to distance themselves from Europe in the eyes of the US administration, while others, like French editorialist Pierre Haski, are advocating for a more assertive European stance. As we explore this story further, it's essential to acknowledge the complexities and nuances at play. The relationship between the US and Europe is multifaceted, with a long history of cooperation and mutual benefit. However, the current tensions highlight the challenges of maintaining a strong alliance in the face of changing global dynamics and competing interests. We'll continue to follow this story and provide updates as more information becomes available. For now, it's clear that the transatlantic alliance is facing significant tests, and the consequences of these developments will be far-reaching. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're halfway through our show today, and we've got a fascinating story to dive into. As we continue to explore the complexities of global politics and international relations, we find ourselves focusing on the Nordic region, specifically Sweden. The Swedish government has announced plans to significantly increase its defense spending, aiming to reach 3.5% of its GDP by 2030. This move is part of the country's largest rearmament effort since the Cold War era. To put this into perspective, Sweden's current defense spending stands at around 2.4% of its GDP, with a previous projection of reaching 2.6% by 2028. However, the government has acknowledged that more needs to be done, particularly in light of U.S. warnings that European security can no longer be Washington's primary focus. The proposed increase would not only bring Sweden closer to the NATO target of 3% to 4% of GDP, but also demonstrate the country's commitment to strengthening its military capabilities. It's essential to note that this decision comes at a time when the global security landscape is evolving rapidly. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine, the rise of new geopolitical tensions, and shifting alliances have all contributed to an increased sense of uncertainty. In response, many European countries, including Sweden, are reevaluating their defense strategies and investing more in their military capabilities. The Swedish government's plan to raise defense spending has been met with a mix of reactions. Some argue that this increase is necessary to ensure the country's security and sovereignty, while others express concerns about the potential economic implications and the opportunity costs associated with allocating such a significant portion of the budget to defense. As we consider this development, it's crucial to recognize the complexities involved in making decisions about national security and defense spending. On one hand, investing in military capabilities can enhance a country's ability to protect its interests and contribute to regional stability. On the other hand, such investments must be balanced against other pressing priorities, such as education, healthcare, and social welfare. As we continue to monitor this story and its implications for Sweden and the broader region, we'll be keeping a close eye on how these developments unfold. The interplay between national security, economic considerations, and geopolitical dynamics will undoubtedly remain a critical aspect of international relations in the years to come. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. I'm your host, Walter. We're wrapping up today's show with a critical look at a pressing global issue that affects us all, regardless of our geographical locations or socioeconomic backgrounds: the shrinking of foreign aid and its devastating impact on nutrition programs worldwide. A recent report has highlighted the alarming consequences of reduced funding for nutrition-supporting initiatives, particularly in high-risk countries where millions of children suffer from severe malnutrition. The numbers are staggering. It's estimated that over 1.2 million deaths were averted in 2023 thanks to treatment and support for children with severe acute malnutrition. However, with aid cuts looming, the future looks bleak. The reduction in foreign aid is not just a matter of dollars and cents. It has real-world consequences that affect the most vulnerable populations. Malnutrition is a leading cause of death among children under the age of 5, and without adequate funding, many more will be at risk of succumbing to preventable diseases. It's essential to acknowledge that this issue is complex and multifaceted, involving not just healthcare but also agriculture, education, and economic development. While some might argue that foreign aid is a burden on donor countries, the long-term benefits of investing in global nutrition programs far outweigh the costs. As we explore this critical topic, it's crucial to recognize the efforts of organizations like UNICEF, which have been working tirelessly to address malnutrition and provide support to affected communities. Their research and advocacy have shed light on the importance of nutrition-specific financing and the need for sustained investment in global health initiatives. In conclusion, the shrinking of foreign aid and its impact on nutrition programs is a pressing concern that demands our attention and action. As we move forward, it's essential to prioritize funding for these critical initiatives and work towards creating a more equitable and sustainable global food system. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.